Okay, so here's something a little weird. In the expanse of One Piece, you have two aquatic species of people that are basically the same thing. So you have your merfolk, which are your mermaid style guys, and then you have your fishmen, who are your creature of the Black Lagoon style guys, right? And over the course of the series, they are modeled after both real life and sometimes fictional fish, because the majority of them are based on fish in the real world, but then you have some of them, like, say, Dillinger, who are based off of fictional fish. Matter of fact, Dillinger is like the only one based off a fish that doesn't exist in the real world, but is native to Dressrosa, which is called a fighting fish, which in turn is really related to the Islet Eater, which is a giant goldfish, but it's just a goldfish with horns, basically, that looks like a bull. Okay. So with that being said, do you find it interesting that out of all these different types of mermen and fishmen, we don't have any of them that look like sea kings or Neptunians or whatever you prefer, the giant sea beasts that infest the waters of the One Piece world? None of these guys are said to be part sea king. And they can get pretty big. Like, you have Watasume, who's huge. You have Shirahoshi, who's huge. Some of them are rivaling the size of Sea Kings, but none of them are part Sea King. And I've always found that super interesting. So, with that being said, what if, based on how some Sea Kings are intelligent somehow, because we see that in Fishman Island, that they do have a mind to actually form sentences and thoughts and know lore and whatnot, and can communicate with those who have the power to use the voice of all things or to interpret the voice of all things. So with that being said, what if when they say that fishmen and merfolk came from fish, they're referring to that they evolved from sea kings, and they've just forgotten their heritage? Because I think what we're going to see, which was alluded to, is that there are two types of sea king. There are the ones who are just like sea serpents, like your Lord of the Coast, or that really big guy who's zebra patterned that appears in all the anime openings and is one of the ones who can talk, that guy. And then you have your ones that are more animalistic, like Momu, who's a sea cow, or the various ones that you see throughout the Fishman Island arc. Like, there's a lion, there's a giraffe fish, there's been a rabbit fish at some point in the series, etc., right? So what if there's a separation between those guys and then your serpentine ones? Maybe the serpentine ones are the ones that just turned into fishmen over time, and then the more bestial ones who can't speak and are just animals just remained animals, or maybe they evolved into the regular animals that you see out in the world. I'm not sure, but I thought that was super interesting that out of all the different types of fish that merfolk and fishmen are modeled after, there are no sea kings, which makes me think that, yeah, maybe sea kings are the origin point for our fish people in the One Piece world. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede. What?